My husband's favorite hoodie smelled like a perfume I don't wear. He said it was from the store. I walked into that store the next day. The clerk said, "Oh, that's the one his girlfriend wears." I bought 2 bottles. Left one on her windshield. I'm Dana, 39, from a small town outside Columbus, Ohio. I've been married to Mark, 41, for 7 years. No kids, just 2 dogs who are way more loyal than he is, apparently. I thought we were happy. Sure, we fought sometimes. We had dry spells. But I never thought he would cheat. Never. It started about 2 months ago. Mark has this old gray hoodie, you know, the kind that's stretched out and stained, but somehow he refuses to throw it away. He wore it almost every evening, especially after work. One night, after he tossed it onto the back of the couch, I picked it up to throw it in the laundry basket. That's when I smelled it. At first, I thought maybe it was detergent from somewhere else, or air freshener. But no, it was strong. Sweet. Floral. Definitely perfume. I sat there for a good 5 minutes, just sniffing the damn thing like an idiot. I even went to the bathroom and sprayed every perfume I owned on a strip of toilet paper, trying to match it. None of them were even close. When Mark got home later, I asked him about it right away. I tried to sound casual, like I wasn't freaking out inside. "Hey, weird question. Your hoodie smells like perfume. Did you spill something?" He barely looked at me. Just shrugged and said, "Probably from the store. I brushed by someone." He said it like it was nothing. Like I was crazy for even bringing it up. Maybe I was crazy. That's what I told myself. For about 12 hours. The next morning, I couldn't stop thinking about it. The smell hadn't faded. If anything, it clung harder, like it belonged there. Mark kissed me goodbye like he always did, told me he loved me. I nodded, smiled, watched him pull out of the driveway. As soon as he was gone, I grabbed my keys and drove straight to the grocery store he always said he went to. It's a small local place, not a lot of workers, definitely not a lot of customers during the day. I wandered around for a bit, pretending to shop. And that's when I saw her. Young, maybe early 20s, standing behind the customer service counter, playing on her phone. She looked bored out of her mind. I walked up to her and said, trying not to sound crazy, "Hey, weird question. Do you know if anyone who works here wears really strong perfume? Like, super sweet?" She laughed. She didn't even hesitate. "Oh, that's probably Lacey. She sprays half a bottle on before every shift." I tried to keep smiling. "Lacey, huh?" She nodded. "Yeah, that's what his girlfriend wears, too." Boom. Right there. One sentence. She shattered my entire marriage. I tried to keep my voice steady. "Whose girlfriend?" She looked at me funny, then pointed over her shoulder toward the stockroom. "Tall guy, dark hair, gray hoodie. He comes in here all the time to hang out with her." I didn't even have to ask. It was Mark. It was my husband. I smiled like it didn't bother me. Like my heart wasn't ripping open right there in the frozen food aisle. I thanked her. I walked to my car. I sat there, gripping the steering wheel so hard my hands went numb. No tears. No screaming. Just cold, hard rage. The pharmacy was right next door. I walked in like a zombie and started looking through the perfume aisle. I didn't even know what brand it was, but when I opened a tester and sprayed it, there it was. That sickly sweet smell that had been on my husband's hoodie. That was it. I bought 2 bottles. That night, I didn't say a word. I watched Mark eat the dinner I made, laugh at a dumb TV show, pet the dogs, act like everything was fine. The next day, I waited. I knew her car. Beat-up white Toyota Corolla with a cracked taillight. I had already found her Instagram the night before. It wasn't hard. Her account was wide open, and guess who she had in her selfies? Mark. My Mark. With his arm around her, grinning like he just won the damn lottery. I waited until she parked. Watched her go inside the store. Then I got out of my car, grabbed one of the perfume bottles, and walked straight over. I poured the entire bottle over her windshield. It dripped down the glass in slow, sticky rivers. The smell hit me even standing back. Then I took the second bottle and placed it right in the middle of her windshield, tucked under the wiper. With a note. Simple. Straight to the point. Hope you love the smell of betrayal as much as he does. Enjoy. Then I got back in my car and drove off. When Mark got home that night, he was off. Twitchy. Nervous. He picked at his dinner. Barely touched it. Kept checking his phone when he thought I wasn't looking. Said he had a bad day. Said work was stressful. Said he loved me. I smiled at him. Kissed him goodnight. Told him I loved him too. I'm not stupid. I know there's more. I know there's been more. And now? I'm not confronting him yet. I'm not giving him the satisfaction of blowing up and letting him paint me as crazy. No. I'm going to let him rot in his lies for a while longer. I'm going to plan this right. Because when I finally move, it's going to be the kind of revenge he'll feel for the rest of his miserable life. After the windshield stunt, I expected something. A fight. A confrontation. Anything. But days passed. Mark acted normal. Too normal. It made my skin crawl to watch him. He kissed me goodbye every morning, texted me, "I love you," on his lunch breaks, smiled at me across the dinner table. Like he wasn't stabbing me in the back. Meanwhile, I kept digging. I found an old phone of his hidden in the garage toolbox. At first, I thought it was junk. An old burner he forgot to throw out. But when I plugged it in, it lit up. No password. He was careless. He thought I'd never find it. The second I opened the messages, my hands went numb. Hundreds of texts. Photos. Videos. Him and Lacey. Him telling her he loved her. Him saying he was going to leave me soon, once the time was right. They had been seeing each other for almost a year. Not 2 months. Not a fling. A year. He took her to places he promised to take me. Restaurants he said he couldn't afford when I asked to go. She wasn't just a side piece. She was his future. He was planning to dump me like garbage when it was convenient for him. I copied everything. Every text, every picture, every dirty little secret. I saved it all on a flash drive and tucked it away. I wasn't ready to use it yet. Not yet. Because I wasn't done finding out how deep it went. I followed him the next weekend. Told him I was visiting my sister 2 towns over. Instead, I parked 2 streets away from the grocery store and waited. Sure enough, around 2 p.m., Mark showed up. He wasn't even trying to hide. Wearing that same damn gray hoodie. I followed him at a distance as he pulled into the back lot, where the security cameras couldn't see. 10 minutes later, Lacey slipped out the side door and got into his truck. I watched them. I watched him lean over and kiss her like he used to kiss me. They stayed there for a long time. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I sat still and let the hate settle deeper in my bones. When they finally drove off, I followed them. They went to a cheap motel by the highway. Real classy, Mark. They disappeared inside room 107. I parked across the street and waited. While I waited, I made some phone calls. First, to a divorce lawyer. I didn't set an appointment yet, just gathered information. Second, to Mark's boss. See, Mark worked at a small construction company. They prided themselves on their family values. His boss, a gruff old guy named Ron, made it very clear at every Christmas party that cheating men were bad for business. I left an anonymous tip that Mark had been spending company time and company money, sneaking off with some girl during work hours. Ron sounded very interested. Then I made my last call. To Lacey's mom. Took me all of 10 minutes to find her through Facebook. Turns out, Lacey still lived at home. And her parents? Old-fashioned. Church-going. The type who believed a woman's purity was sacred. I left a polite little voicemail saying Lacey was screwing a married man in room 107 at the Budget Inn right now. Then I hung up and waited. 20 minutes later, I watched an old beige minivan screech into the motel parking lot. An older woman jumped out, her face purple with rage. She started banging on the door to room 107 so hard I thought it might come off the hinges. I saw Mark stumble out first, half-dressed, trying to calm her down. Lacey followed, crying and covering herself with Mark's hoodie. The whole damn parking lot watched. I watched it all. I took pictures, took video, saved it to the flash drive with everything else. Then I drove home. When Mark walked in 3 hours later, he looked like death. Pale, sweaty, shaking. I asked him how his day was. He mumbled something about being tired. I smiled. Told him to go take a shower. He did. Good little liar. Meanwhile, I poured myself a drink and sat down with the flash drive in my hand, feeling calmer than I had in weeks. Because this isn't just about divorce anymore. This is about destruction. I'm going to rip everything he built, everything he thought he was getting away with, straight out from under him. And when he's lying in the dirt, wondering what the hell happened to his perfect little plan, I'll be standing over him, smiling. After the motel scene, you'd think Mark would act different. Guilty. Scared. Maybe even end it with Lacey to save himself. But no. He kept sneaking around. Kept lying straight to my face. Kept playing perfect husband like I couldn't smell the rot on him. He thought he was untouchable. That's when I realized, just wrecking their little love affair wasn't enough. He needed to lose everything. Not just me. Not just her. Everything. First step, money. Mark had no idea, but months ago I started handling most of our bills. He got lazy. Handed over the passwords. Said he trusted me with the finances. Big mistake. Over the next 2 weeks, I moved half our savings into a private account under my name only. I paid off my car. I opened a credit card in my name and transferred all the cashback rewards into gift cards, hundreds of dollars worth. And hid them. I left just enough in the joint account to keep him from noticing. Meanwhile, I tracked his every move. One night, after he fell asleep, I went through his phone again. This time, I found something new. Plane tickets. He had booked 2 round-trip flights to Miami for him and Lacey, leaving in 3 weeks. The same week as our anniversary. He was planning to fake a business trip and then take her on a romantic getaway, with our money. I laughed so hard, I almost woke him up. He was so sure he had it all figured out. Mark's parents adored me. They always said I was the daughter they never had. His sisters loved me too. I started planting seeds. Little comments. Little hints. I've been feeling so distant from Mark lately. I think something's going on. I hope it's not another woman. I watched the doubt bloom behind their eyes. It didn't take long before his sister Megan called me late at night. She said she saw Mark at a diner across town, with a young blonde sitting way too close. Megan was furious. She promised she'd get to the bottom of it. Good. Let her. I wanted the bomb to come from every direction at once. I went back to the lawyer I had called earlier. This time, I booked an appointment. Sat down with a woman named Christine who had fire in her eyes and a file thicker than a Bible. She loved my flash drive. Said it would make court a slam dunk. Infidelity in Ohio still mattered. Especially when it came to splitting assets and alimony. Christine told me to sit tight. Gather a little more. Wait for the right moment to strike. I nodded. I could wait. I had waited this long. I wasn't just going to leave. I wanted Mark to feel alone. Really alone. So I went after Lacey too. I made a fake Instagram account. Started sending screenshots to her friends, her boss at the store, her church group. Screenshots of her and Mark together. Screenshots of texts where he called me his ball and chain and promised to ditch her soon. I let them all simmer. I didn't say a word. Just dropped bombs and disappeared. 2 days later, Lacey's Instagram went private. 3 days later, she deleted Facebook altogether. Then I heard through the grapevine, because small towns talk, that Lacey had gotten fired from the store for causing drama. That she was living with a friend after her parents kicked her out. That she was taking some time to heal. Good. Let her heal. She had a lot more coming. Meanwhile, at home, Mark kept playing pretend, cooking me dinner, bringing home flowers, touching me like he still had any right to. He was getting desperate, nervous. He could feel it slipping, but he didn't know why. Not yet. I was so close. Just a little longer. One last move. The big one. And then? It was all coming down. All of it. I waited 3 more days. Long enough for the seeds I planted to take root. Mark's sister stopped calling. His parents grew cold. He noticed. He kept asking, "Is something wrong with my family?" I shrugged. "Maybe you should ask them." I acted sweet, kind, patient. While inside, I counted the hours. Then came Saturday, our 7th wedding anniversary. Mark bought me roses, cooked me dinner, wrote a card that said, "To many more years together." I could barely look at him without wanting to laugh. I waited until after dessert. After he poured 2 glasses of wine. After he toasted to forever. I let him sit there, smiling, thinking he won. Then I stood up, went to the living room, grabbed a folder off the table and dropped it in front of him. He looked confused. "What's this?" he asked. I didn't say anything, just watched. Watched his face turn from smug to confused to sick. Inside the folder, printouts of every text, every photo, the motel videos, the bank account statements showing the money I moved, the screenshots I had sent to his work and Lacey's family. At the very bottom, pinned neatly, divorce papers, already signed by me, served to him, effective immediately. Mark stammered. He begged. He cried. He actually dropped to his knees, clutching my hands like a child begging for candy. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I was stupid. It didn't mean anything. I love you." I pulled my hands away. "You don't love anyone but yourself." I didn't scream. I didn't throw things. I left him kneeling there, sobbing like a little boy who broke his favorite toy. I went upstairs, grabbed my bags. I had already moved most of my important stuff to a storage unit the week before. The house? In both our names. But that was about to change too. Thanks to Christine, my lawyer, I had enough proof to make sure I got almost everything. The dogs? With me. The house? Under negotiation, but leaning my way. Mark would be left with his truck and his memories. I walked out the door without looking back. 2 weeks later, everything fell apart for him. Ron, his boss, fired him after an internal investigation. Word got out around town. Nobody wanted to hire a man who used company time to screw around. Lacey? She dumped him too. Publicly. On Facebook. Called him a pathetic, lying old man. His family stopped answering his calls. His friends disappeared. He tried to text me once. "Please. Let's talk." I blocked him. There's no talking left to do. I'm not perfect either. I made mistakes too. I stayed too long. Ignored the signs. Trusted when I shouldn't have. I let myself become part of a life that wasn't real. And that's on me. I'm not proud of everything I did. Pouring perfume all over that girl's car. Destroying their social lives. Humiliating them in public. Some days, it makes me feel powerful. Other days, it makes me feel small. Like I stooped down into the dirt with them. But at least I know the truth now. At least I know what kind of man Mark really was. At least I got out before he could bleed me dry. And him? He'll have to live in the wreckage he created. Alone. Exactly where he belongs.